What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Hunter x Hunter, chapter 387. After this chapter, we have 88, 89, and 90. So, including this, we have 4 chapters left. It has been, I don't know when the first chapter was. I had to go back and look, but I feel like we've been doing these forever. And then by the end of January, we will be done. I appreciate everybody that's been along for the ride and you guys encouraging me to get on my first, manga ever. Appreciate the Patreon support. I think we're up to like 24 Patreons right now, which is actually insane. It's crazy to see like what Patreon has become for YouTubers and reactors in general. I think I've brought this up before, but like I feel like the anime reactions really like took off when Dragon Ball Super started, and a lot of us started our channel. I'm not going to go through everybody. You guys know the kind of group of people that you're subscribed to that react to animes, but a lot of us started with that Dragon Ball Super. We were kind of all like around that low couple hundred, maybe low thousand subscribers, and then after Dragon Ball Super and people branch off into different animes, people just took off. Like took off, and seeing people with like hundreds and thousands of Patreon members just blows my mind. It's like really like I can't even comprehend how that could be like obtainable, but seeing that we're in the 20s absolutely blows my mind. So I don't know if you're just here for the Hunter x Hunter, if you're just here for the support, if you're here for everything we're doing on Patreon and YouTube and all that. Either way, I appreciate it. The support on Patreon, it's been going crazy. Maybe one day we'll be in that 100 patrons, 1,000 patrons one day. We'll see. Again, appreciate the support. Jumping into this, there wasn't much in the comment sections for 386. We didn't get confirmation on what Halkenberg's hypothesis was on his ability, or what happens when the minds transfer from somebody on his side to somebody he shoots with the arrow and all that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people told me right here in 387 I'm supposed to get the full breakdown of T-Dog's ability. I've been, theorizing and tossing things here and tossing things there. I just can like equate it to like Naruto with like a Izanagi or Izanami, where maybe he, I don't know if he like if he can trap just one person in some kind of loop, if he can trap a bunch of people, if he's just maybe putting something in somebody's mind and he kind of can step back and look at it. Or maybe he's like stepping out of the timeline completely and can see what would happen with his future, and then he can just reinsert himself. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Because then if it is some kind of like loop where he has to kind of like set up conditions or something like that, if he can only apply it to one person, what would happen if it was to get interrupted? Kind of like we had here with Theta. Say something is going on the ship and they get a knock on their door, and Theta can't hear it, because she's deep in there with him. If a bodyguard runs in there, would Theta be standing there thinking T-Dog's in front of her, but he's really like over here on the side, kind of like watching her play it out? And like, would she like kind of be like, oh, and snap out of it and then look in front of her and see that he's not there and he's really been behind her the whole time? Or would somebody that come in also see what he's projecting on somebody else? And then how do you counter it or get out of it? I don't know. We'll see. I think it has something to do with, I don't know if he's like rewinding, removing himself, placing somebody in something. Those are kind of my guesses. I don't think there was anything really brought up in the comment sections besides, nothing too detailed. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll go ahead and get on it. Chapter 387, titled Recreation, which I guess has something to do with the name of his ability. We still got to catch up with his ability. What the hell is Illumi doing? What are the Zodiacs doing? Karapika, what you got going on? There's just so many storylines, and we've only got 4 chapters to get to it. Luckily, I say 4 chapters like the story is over. The story is not complete. It's just all we have access to. So, Alright, let's do it. Close your eyes and focus. Zetsu while listening carefully is pretty difficult. Maintain your Zetsu while following my instructions and answering my questions. Oh, so are we stepping back? I'm guessing to kind of see what happened. And then also with that, with his ability, Theta seems pretty skilled, knowledgeable, especially when it comes to Nen. Has he been like playing her this whole time? Like, clearly he didn't know what Nen was before this, but Did he advance so far that he's just been going through the motions with Theta? He already knows what his ability is, already knows how to fully use the conditions on everything, and he's just kind of like testing things out as he goes? Or how did he just like, how did that ability just activate? I don't know. Doing this, continue Zetsu unperturbed by all the sounds, queries, and incidents. Doing this for 60 minutes should feel like a very long time. I got the hang of it, but unless I gradually close off my nodes, starting from my extremities, it'll be uneven. It really is hard to shut down the whole body's aura in one go. Closed eyes, there. What in the world is this? There's something on your left shoulder. Okay, start over. Okay, so are we getting this through his perspective? And not... I actually would like to get inside his head through this entire thing and not see it through Theta's point of view with like a narrator telling us, you know, his ability. I want to see what triggers him to like not follow through with the Zetsu that they had planned for the training. That was a bit unfair, Theta dear. The enemy will be harsher than that. Focus, focus. A dream. What was that? I lost Zetsu. There's something on your left shoulder. Theta, was anything different about me just now? Okay, start over. Hey, are you listening? Oh, wow. Something happened. His ability just triggered. He's not there anymore. It's like he's... I don't even know how to describe it. Something happened with the Zetsu that... like, he's like looking at like a projection of the current timeline. And he's... I don't know if his mental is removed or if everything about him is removed, but something happened in that transition there where and he can't even be sensed. They even be harsher than that. And that what's wild is like he went back in time a little bit. It's like when that thing touched his shoulder, something activated. And because she just said the same thing again. We're talking past each other. She said the exact same thing in the dream. That wasn't a dream, but a prediction of the future. Yes? Theta's back. No, never mind. So my daydream lasted about 10 seconds. If that was precognition, I changed what I said, but Theta ignored me and stuck to the original script. I'll try it again. Focus. There was static the moment I closed my eyes and achieved Zetsu. If that signals the start of the dream, the second static about 10 seconds later signifies the end. I felt like I couldn't move while I was watching the dream. If that's my ability and I'm defenseless while using it, isn't that dangerous? Yeah, so to activate this, he has to go in full Zetsu, but then it doesn't leave him completely dangerous because we saw him get shot in the head. Well, I guess maybe not really him. But see, that's the thing. He says that he went right back to that moment but changed his script, but hers didn't change. So was he planning to go back to the point in time where he was about to get shot and then change something so that it was... I don't know. I don't know. And if the dream is happening while real time progresses, I have to risk 10 seconds of defenselessness to see a measly 10 seconds into the future. That's unreal. If it's my ability, the dream lasts but a moment. It should take place in less than the blink of an eye. I can't move once 10 seconds pass. Will it keep going if I continue Zetsu? So if he stays in Zetsu, does maybe his kind of like dream future prediction he gets to see longer than 10 seconds, but he leaves himself exposed? But all that did happen and he did get shot. So the question is, he's getting some kind of like night eye premonition, I can see into the future type stuff. But then when he's seeing that, there is a physical being of him in the timeline that he's seeing. And in that timeline, he got shot. So how did he end up... When you start messing with time in anything, movies, cartoons, anime, stuff gets real real messy here. Because I'm curious, like, how does he go back and then redo it again? He doesn't even know. Maybe I won't try to rattle my brain. Maybe we'll get it. We'll get explained. No, it's still going, but something's different. I can move now. Time is advancing. I can feel it. I can feel Theta in front of me in real time, but the one in the vision is 10 seconds from now. So, so he actually is there in the present. And what? The 10 seconds right after activation is an ephemeral 10 seconds? It shows the 10 seconds right after activation. It shows 10 seconds into the... So once it activates, he's seeing something that hasn't happened yet. Okay, I thought he was just removing himself and seeing the present. He's saying when it activates, he gets to see 10 seconds into the future. And once the moment has passed, I keep seeing the world 10 seconds into the future. Okay. Now, so he's always going to be 10 seconds ahead. So right now, if I activate it, like boom, it's activated. I see 10 seconds into the future. 10 seconds into the future, I touch my forehead. And then, so he only knows, at 10 seconds, I do this. 10 seconds passes, I do this. Now, as soon as I do this, he gets to see a fresh 10 seconds ahead. So maybe another 10 seconds, I do this. He sees that happen. Another 10 seconds, he gets fast forwarded ahead. What happens in that 10-second overlap, though? I guess maybe he just doesn't see anything. He just gets it, and that's it. I'm trying to think what happens in that dead stop, because he gets to see 10... I don't think 10 seconds is overlapping with 10 seconds, if that makes sense. Like, he's in the current, seeing 10 seconds in the future, but when he's seeing that 10 seconds in the future, what is happening to him in the 10 seconds in the present? I don't know. And he's saying, so as long as he keeps himself in Zetsu, he'll keep getting that 10-second skip forward. And then the 10 seconds of him in the present is just him in Zetsu. That's what's he's not having to do anything. That makes it a little bit easier. But it is leaving him completely exposed, though. The problem becomes, how does he avoid something that's only going to happen 10 seconds from now, especially if it's deadly? If he sees himself die 10 seconds in the future, and it's from a gunshot, he could... No, but then how does he... He has to stay in the Zetsu to see the 10 seconds. So if 10 seconds from now he knows he gets shot in the head, he could stop Zetsu and just remove himself within the next 10 seconds. I think. But then, I had to write this shit out. I'm going to end up giving myself a headache if I keep trying to like piece this together with no kind of like map plan. I should keep scrolling because I'll probably get it all explained. Let's just do that because I'm going to keep going back forward. If I'm right, in 10 seconds, Theta will move in real time. So I guess when there's this black hovered, is that supposed to be what he's seeing in the future? This kind of like blacked out static? So right here, this blacked out static, he's saying Theta moved. That's in his dream. So if he's correct, in 10 seconds, Theta will walk right by him like she did. A cup. I get it. Theta, you're a sadist. A new discovery. There she goes. Boom. Okay, she walked. 10 seconds on the dot. My hypothesis has been proved. Next, I test Theta's reactions. Sir, it's okay. Only I can change what's in the future. Okay. In 10 seconds, I lost my focus with the crash, and I lost my Zetsu. The prince is in training. Okay. So he saw this, because he just said, in 10 seconds, I lose my focus. Don't interrupt us. But how will she react if I don't lose the Zetsu? That's what I'm saying. It's like, what happens with his reaction in the current? If she can see my amended actions... Hold on. I'm trying to read this. This line should change into the praise. Hold on. I'm trying to read his thoughts, and then it's going to her bubbles. I suppose their meddling is a part of your training as well. At this rate, your Zetsu isn't looking like it'll last long anyway. Start over once again. Okay, something crashes. My Zetsu continues. Okay, boom. And then this is now this happened for real. The prince is in training. Don't interrupt us. He already saw this and then it happened. I suppose their meddling is part of your training as well. Ha, I knew it. At this rate, your Zetsu isn't looking like it'll last long anyway. Start over once more. Theta sees me as I was in the vision. She hasn't realized I changed the future. This line should change into the praise. I suppose their meddling is part of your training as well. At this rate, your Zetsu isn't looking like it'll last long anyway. Start over once more. So he can see it and then change it, and it not affect the future he saw? Fine, do anything you want. If I close my eyes in Zetsu, I get a 10-second preview of the future. That's what we got so far. If he enters Zetsu, he can see 10 seconds into the future. And if he remains in Zetsu, he will always get a 10-second time skip ahead every time 10 seconds runs out. So if 10 seconds I do this, when this happens, he'll see another 10 seconds into the future. He'll see me do this. Another 10 seconds, he'll see me do this. And he'll keep getting that reset if he stays in Zetsu. Here's the thing, though. That, like, it sounds great, but then also you're just leaving yourself there. If he was to come around somebody that like had ill will on him, like Theta right here, I don't know how long. Like as soon as he enters Zetsu, it happens. Because I'm trying to think if there's anything. Well, I guess he would never get caught off guard then, because he would never be in Zetsu, you know, without it either way. I'm trying to think if there was any way he could get interrupted and still be killed. I guess he could straight up be killed in that split second that the 10 seconds ended. And if somebody was to interrupt him, like these guards come busting in. As soon as they come busting in, that's the end of his 10 seconds. Say he goes to open his eyes. As soon as he opens his eyes, he doesn't get to see, you know, at the 11th second, Theta was going to have a gun to his head and pull the trigger. The guards bust in. That's at second number 10. Second number 11, she pulls the trigger. Of course, you know, the guards was here. I'm just using this for an example. But with his Zetsu broken, like, he wouldn't have been able to see that. And his Spirit Beast doesn't look like it's able to do anything that would prevent him from taking a shot to the head. It looks like it wants to control people, not like a Halkenberg protector. We still don't know what his other like specialist beast does. But in that split second, I don't know if you could get him. I don't know. If I close my eyes and use my Zetsu, I'll get a preview. I'll give it my all. I don't care if you're writhing in agony on the floor, foaming at the mouth. I won't open one pore for you, so don't worry about it. And only I can change what I do in those 10 seconds. So how do you counter it? Well, you counter it by, you know, if his Spirit Beast aren't like Enhancer type, where they will shield you, you could take him out, especially if you haven't been marked. So we'll see. She tossed a ball of aura at me. I'm still in Zetsu. Maybe I'll open my eyes and talk to her. If I remain in Zetsu and close my eyes again, will it restart? That's what he does need to test. She sees me with my eyes closed. 10 seconds gap will be reset. Okay, he opened his eyes. So he opened his eyes, but she's still looking at him with eyes closed because the 10 seconds hasn't happened. Time is, when you manipulate time, bro, you really make things difficult. Theta dear, how do you feel about me? So he said it. It hasn't happened yet, so she's just not going to respond. This is fun. Oh, yes. If I continue Zetsu, I can do it in a row. I'll go as far as I can. So he's trying to see, you know, minutes, everything. Hey, Theta, what are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise performance from the Royal Concert for those of you in the high areas of tiers 1 and 2. So he's now seeing Theta pull out that gun. For real? Theta, why? First a flute. He's like, she's not about to shoot me, is she? And he shoots her. But he sees that happen. So then what does he do? So he ends up behind her within that 10 seconds, correct? So he just physically moves himself. Boom, shoots him in the head. Oh, and then this time he moves. But wait, hold on. He sees himself get shot in the head. But when it really comes to happen, he moves out of the way. But wait, like he said, of course Theta still sees me standing there. She's going to think she actually shot me. Haha, this ability is so fun. Oh, okay. So this him jumping out of the way is him seeing that 10 seconds into the future. He hasn't moved yet. This is him seeing 10 seconds into the future. But in that 10 seconds, like this cloud that's over Theta, she still sees the 10 seconds current him standing there. So then how does he remove that? Because if he was to move himself, there would be nothing for her to shoot. But that actually does happen, because when she goes and looks back, there's nothing there. Like the music plays on the radio. They hear. So does she fire at nothing? And then the guards come busting in? And then she looks back and sees that he's not really there, and he's actually moved himself? I don't fluffing know. So yeah, okay, now he's behind her. We see all this craziness going on. What was that? That wasn't my ability, was it? Oh, and then he's seeing that melody shit kick in. Someone else did something with their Nen. This world is full of Nen. It's way too fun. Was that a gunshot? But see, what's crazy is... Oh, okay, so I think that only worked in this specific scenario that fucked up Theta here. Had Melody's music not played over the loudspeakers, Theta would have seen that T-Dog is not in front of her. I think Melody's music and playing and all that stuff, clouded, put her mind in a different space or whatever, and she fired anyway. But had that music not been playing there, he would have moved out of the way. And she would have seen him move and have nothing to shoot at, correct? Now, when he takes action, does it immediately affect what's going to happen? This is him jumping out of the way here. This is his future self jumping out of the way, but he does see himself get shot in the head though, correct? So he sees 10 seconds into the future and he sees himself get shot in the head, but his future self jumps out of the way. So he currently still is there, but when he moves, does this already mean in the next 10 seconds he will have done this same exact jump? Or what determines oh, I now affected the next 10 seconds going forward? If he does anything, does it instantly affect what's going to happen 10 seconds into the future? So would this exact thing happen right here? He looks 10 seconds into the future. He sees Theta pointing a gun at him. He jumps out of the way, falls on the ground. Theta actually does shoot because he's seeing into the future. Now, did he just change the future because in 10 seconds, instead of him standing there, he's going to wake up, jump, move, sit on the floor? Or is there something else that he has to do to, make it known, hey, I'm changing this 10 seconds? Or if he just makes any movement, he changes it? I don't know. And he's saying, of course, Theta still sees me standing there because it hasn't happened for her yet. She's going to think she actually shot me. And then Melody's stuff, but see, she shot. Then Melody's stuff kind of takes over. I don't know. Basically, the question I have is, in that new 10 seconds that he's not currently standing in front of her now because it looks like he jumped out of the way and moved, why would Theta still shoot if he's not actually standing there? Because he's changed the future, that 10-second future, because he's moved. Now he's behind her. And then, it's all part of the training. She's in shock. There's no way for her to understand what happened. I'll ask her later. You should take a break, Theta, dear. Why you tried to kill me? You were tense this whole time. Yeah, so he he doesn't know that she actually was trying to shoot him, but he's going to ask, and whatever. Missing time? Yes, we heard a gunshot. In the moment we headed over, a beautiful landscape appeared in front of us. We were unable to move. We think it was due to the music broadcast. It was supposed to be 8 Prince Sal's stupid rap, right? Yes. The performance was by a Hunter Association member by the name of Melody. Call her over and make it sound like an invitation. If it's a summons, they might refuse. It's a feeler. Yeah, we heard all this. We heard all this. Oh my God, you are not breaking out the flipping the mathematics algebra here. I guess that'll help. Confirming my ability is more important than theta right now. When I close my eyes and achieve Zetsu, I get a vision. I get a 10-second preview of the world. An ephemeral 10 seconds. What the hell does that mean? Ephemeral. Lasting for a short time. Oh, okay, you just could have said that. An ephemeral, a short 10 seconds, but 10 seconds, whatever. If I keep my eyes closed, I continue to see a vision 10 seconds into the future while I simultaneously relive the events I saw in the vision 10 seconds ago. Here's the thing though, how does he every second he relives is going to be in Zetsu though? Correct? He can, because he sees the future in Zetsu, which meaning when it happens, he will also still be in Zetsu, correct? So the only way to actually change anything is to wake up, like stop using Zetsu. He can see the future happening around. I don't know how far it spans though. Could he see above him, in a room above him, or like what? I don't know what he's actually able to see. I guess kind of maybe what's in front of him. I don't think he could see around the whole ship like, oh, this happens in 10 seconds over there. This happens in 10 seconds over here. I don't think he can change like where he puts that security camera. I think it's just, within his peripherals or where his original vision would be. But if he wants to change what happens in that 10 seconds, he has to quit using Zetsu, which means then he stops seeing what's going to happen in the previous 10 seconds. Because even if he's like, oh, I want to wait to see what happens in 30 seconds, you still won't change what happens in the 20 seconds that you had to wait to see that 10 of the 30 down the road. So if he wants to change anything, no matter how far he looks in, he has to reactivate his Nen. So he could sit there and look 30 minutes into the future. If at any point he wants to change any of those 10-second spurts, he has to wake back up. Seconds into the future, while I simultaneously relive the events I saw in the vision 10 seconds ago. Close eyes and achieve Zetsu. See 10 seconds of the future, taking up no time in the real world. My world. Continue to see 10 seconds into the future while experiencing real time until I open my eyes. Yes. Open eyes. Now relive what you just saw 10 seconds ago. But you weren't doing anything 10 seconds ago because you were in Zetsu. Unless in the future you already know you see that you open your eyes in 10 seconds, then you could then change that, yes. Ability to dismiss. But then he could also choose to not open his eyes if he knows that's going to happen. He could just stay in Zetsu. Real world. Time flowing in real world. 10 seconds. Normal time passing. Ability dismissed. Close eyes and achieve Zetsu. Reactivate and re-enter this diagram from the right. In these 10 seconds, if I change my actions, other people are only aware of how it happened in the vision. I've confirmed I can use it consecutively. The problem is the time it takes for me to enter Zetsu, and the skill to maintain it. This ability won't prove its worth without perfection of these two. Once I can control Zetsu at will, I will dominate the battle for succession. Time me from when I close my eyes to when I open them. Once it's less than a second, then we spar. And the world. Oh, I'll win the battle for succession in the world. That's a lot right there. I don't want to dive into it too much because again I'll explode my head, but it looks to so we were kind of on the right path of some kind of, Izanagi getting to see into the future, change it at will if you want, get in, get out. Um, it does seem great. I don't think it makes him as broken as everybody said he was. Maybe I'm missing something here, because I remember when I was starting this, everyone's like, "Oh, you know, T-Dog, Fourth Prince, just wait for it. You're gonna see why he could single-handedly beat, you know, Ging or Miriam, or I mean, there's still a lot to see here. We don't know what that other specialist beast is that he has and what that does or what else he can do, and then what tinkering with this is going to be. So maybe I need to see his ability refined. But just on face value, it doesn't seem like the end of the world. Like facing him, at least for this ability. Again, I don't know what his specialist beast does that it looks like he's summoned. But just for, because in this he has to go in Zetsu to activate it. And like if you're getting blitzed, yes, you could have like, it's like how long can you stay in Zetsu in the middle of a hand-to-hand Nen battle fight? Turn off your Nen just to see 10 seconds into the future. But if you're going to get your head taken off in 10 seconds, you got to do something to move. So then you've got to like wake back up. And then it's like, how do you get a chance to, you know, turn everything off again, see 10 seconds, and act accordingly? He says he's going to get it down to a second. The ability won't prove its worth without preceding these two. Once I can control Zetsu at will, I would dominate. I'll close my time me from the time I close my eyes to the time I open them. Because when he opens them, that means, I mean, I guess he's got it and he's got something he wants to change. He would have to be able to literally flip Zetsu off instantly, on and off, if he wanted to use that in, like, the heat of battle. He's got to be able to get it off and get it back on to actually physically protect himself, and get it back on to change what might happen in the middle of a fight. So maybe he does. This is just, you know, the ability right off the bat. He could tinker this, change it, pair it with one of his special beasts, and figure something out. We'll wait and see what happens with that. I'm going to leave that there, because we could sit here and go back and forth of, well, if he does this, then maybe he could do that, but if he times it like this, he could do that. All we know for now, his ability, but what the hell is that other beast of his? I don't know. The beast that wasn't part of the urn ceremony. Just that, like, huge, you know, flying... I don't know what it was. We still got to figure out what that is and what that does. But for right now, when he enters Zetsu, he can see 10 seconds into the future. If he wants to change what happens in that 10 seconds, he has to break his Zetsu, take action, and then what happened in that previous 10 seconds, he can change when it comes to happen present time. Right now, he can't really get in Zetsu that efficiently, so it wouldn't be great to use in hand-to-hand situation because he can't. I mean, it would have to be so damn fast. Imagine if you had someone with like Killua speed or a Royal Guard speed or somebody like that. What kind of time would you even have to fully leave yourself defenseless? You would, I guess you could make the argument you're not leaving yourself defenseless because you're getting to see into the future. So if you could have it in the, like, literally the time it would take Killua to, like, activate that electricity, he could, you know, close eyes, see 10 seconds, activate. So he knows Killua's going to end up behind him, above him, boom, 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 all within that 10 seconds. But he has to get out of it to then react to Killua making all those moves. So if Killua's really blitzing your ass, okay, I blocked, and he's still on you, you would have to move so fast to then again turn it off. Okay, Killua does this back, and I'm in. I mean, that seems like a lot. We know he's a genius. Maybe he figures something out. I don't know. We'll leave it there though. I asked a lot of questions in there. Feel free to answer them if they're not spoilers not going to be explained. When you start messing with time and stuff, I could sit here for hours and days trying to put pieces together. I could bring paper out and connect the dots, kind of like they did right here. But I don't want to do anything too crazy. You guys feel free to comment on anything, answer anything. We have 3 chapters left, and we'll go from there. Patreon members, you guys will see this on January 10th, and then tomorrow you guys will get the full-length Attack on Titan episode 5 of season 4 reaction. That's going to be scary. And then YouTube, you guys will be getting the highlight reaction. Then YouTube, you guys will see this video on the 15th. We'll go from there. I appreciate it, guys. Like, share, favorite, subscribe. Whew, I need to take a break after that. And as always,